Twig got 18-point win over the Crows. Good opposition, challenged countless times throughout the game. Must be really happy with the result.
Yeah, it was a good performance, Josh, because of the reasons you said, that they were a good team. They were strong. Berry and Murphy out of the emergencies play, and Schoenberg is a good player at the level. Strawn's a good player, and Ball Ace comes back. He's got good exposure. The senior footy, Will Hamill. So a number of players that have been at AFL level recently. And then, I thought the scoreboard possibly could have reflected us have a bit more of a margin at times, but we couldn't quite convert, and they took some opportunities, and the game just felt that awkward margin for too long, I felt. But when you have plus 26 inside 50s, and I think it was plus 20 contested possession, things that have a big bearing on outcome when you can play with good teams, they were heavily stuck in our favour the way we performed over 4 quarters, and you'd like to have put more on the board with that amount of inside 50s, but the way that the guys are playing stands up, and I think our supporters, from what I'm feeling and hearing, are enjoying watching the way they play.
Yeah. How important was the contested battle? That Berry, Schomburg, Dowling, Murphy, Strawn, all tough inside players pretty much. Big to win that. Yeah,
it is. I think the competition demands that you're good in that phase of the game, and we've trained it a lot, and it's served us pretty well for most part of the last 3 to 4 years. But I really enjoyed how our boys went about it around the ball and across the ground, for that matter. Cootie, O'Neill, Lowe, Nelligan, Morris, Hamilton all went through inside mid along with Boyd and Finn Hurd. But our backline stood up really tall when there were some periods of ascendancy, so the contest wins behind the ball were really valuable and critical at times. So Ling, Merley, Lord been really solid for us, and the Seymour, Donnelly, Hurd and Graham as a combo looking really strong and resilient for us. So the contest was strong. I think the number and the outcome ended up being plus 20, but it was the quality of those wins at times that I think had a big bearing on us being able to play the game down our end a bit more often.
Yeah, averaging 48 points against in defence, must be thrilled with that.
Yeah, I think our overall approach to defending has been really pleasing. The players that have come in, Boyle, O'Neill, Lord and Merley, as we mentioned, Finn Hurd, those sort of fellas who are new to our system have come in and really bought into it and play their part. So I think Cootie's made a big difference to how he gets after them around the ball. He and O'Neill are genuine tacklers. So it's handy when you've already got tacklers in there with guys that Kennelly and Lowe's good at it as well, and Morris is a natural. So there's a lot of guys who are natural competitors in that phase of the game. So I think the way we're defending is strong. I'm very greedy. I think we've got improvement left in us defensively, but defence does tie in with how you move the footy and also contest wins. So I think we're backline is standing up when we are under pressure, but overall the approach to defence by the team's been really consistent.
Yeah, forward pressure was evident. When you got tools like McLean and 12-3 run-down tackles that immediately convert to goals. That's fantastic. How did you see the forward pressure all night?
Pretty good. I think that it's been one of the big spikes in our game this year, is the speed of our small backs to mop up, but also our little mosquito fleet up front. So the Hamilton, Lowe, Tramfers come in, Mitch Carroll, those guys have been able to add a real different layer to our game. I'm pleased you mentioned our tall guys. So Callo's a willing tackler. McLean's, I've been really pleased with his output since he's come back in the team, and 12-3's arguably our best forward 50 tackler as a tall, and Finn Hurd's competitive in that phase of the game. So their selection is based on a lot of things, but the fact that they engage in that part of the game and are solid in it makes a big difference to either stoppages in our forward 50, score creation, or rushed exits.
Yeah, have you seen 12-3 this year? He seems to mark everything that comes his way pretty much.
He didn't last week, but he's been very good. We're a big fan of 12-3. We've been developing him for the last 2 years, and he had a really full summer of training, got stronger, did a lot of marking technique work, which is coming out in games. He and Finn are both examples of doing a lot of work and now believing it can stand up at senior level. But 12-3's got so many layers to his game. He's a high-end runner. He wins excellent amount of ground ball for a tall. His awareness with the ball, especially up the ground, the leading kick it into the leading McLean the other day just shows the skill level he's got. I think he's got more in him. I'm going to push him pretty hard because he's got more marks in him. He's got more capacity to be a score influencer. But geez, he's made a difference to our team, and he's he's a really willing worker and a great learner.
Someone who's made a difference the last couple of weeks, Bannon Lowe, gone through the midfield. Must be happy with his output the last few weeks in particular.
Yeah, well, for 2.5 years he thinks I'm a fool because I haven't played him on the ball enough, but there's been a reasonable whack of blokes who can go through there. He's made a difference. Like, to lose Panos and Kennelly the last 2 weeks and have Lowe be an outright midfielder and have the influence he's had on the game the last 2 weeks has had a big bearing on their results. He's quick, he's clean, and I thought last week he had some chances to do a bit more to get after them when they had it. Politely put that to him, we would like a little bit more of that, and he went and did it again on the weekend. So I think he's a massive improver. He's a really important player, and he's really grown since he's been offered the opportunity. That's what it's about. Sometimes you don't play where you're probably natural because of the opportunity or who's ahead of you. Opportunity's been there, he's taken it. So hopefully we can keep improving his game as the year goes on as a mid and a forward.
Yeah. Talk us through Donnelly's role this year. He seems to go to the most dangerous forward every week and seems to shut them out of the contest.
Yeah, I don't think it should be underestimated what Donnelly's done. I think our people who watch this closely are aware of how competitive he is, but over the 6 weeks to have 4 jobs at pretty high end when you're dealing with state player Hosey, state player Hone, Lockyer, who's a high-end player at North Adelaide, and then you played in Gallant, who's been in the comp for a few years, and thought he did a real number on Gallant and overwhelmed him with how he approached it. And even the way Tom refrained from getting drawn into the carry-on after one of the goals that was kicked shows the level of professionalism from Tom, because I wouldn't like to meet him in a dark night down the alley, Josh, but he's been excellent, and I really feel as though he's grown a lot as a Norwood player in person in his time with us, and it's not underestimated internally the job he's done.
Yeah, I thought that battle and also the battle between the big rucks was intriguing as well.
It's one of the best battles of the year. I felt that Strawn and Boyd have competed against each other a lot, and I think Harry's form in the first 6 weeks has been exceptional, and both players could walk away saying they had a good game, but it was through a genuine battle. And Strawn's a very good player, and I think Harry serviced our guys quite well with some excellent hits and his work around the ground, and then Strawn had his moments around the ground. So it was a genuine one-on-one battle that I think everyone would say both walked away saying we both had influence on the game and played to our capacity, but in a good battle mode.
Yeah. 6-0 leading into the bye, Twig. Must be really happy with how the team's going.
Yeah, I'm not a massive ladder follower, and I'm aware that we haven't lost yet, obviously. And I'm really proud of the groups. The way they're playing is, I think there was the first 2 weeks with the home ground, night games, 2 really high quality oppositions that Glenelg asked a lot of you. And then felt like our 3 weeks against Westies, Port and North Adelaide were good at periods, but just didn't think we played to our full capacity. And I thought our game came back on the weekend. And that's the challenge over the course of a season, to continue to play at a high level in what's a really even competition. So I think we've been able to have reasonable stability in the team, so their conditioning and their ability to repeat their efforts and play week to week has been a strength. We've played 27 or 8 players in the first 6 weeks. But I've been really pleased with our reserves, Josh. I think Aaron Jelfs and his coaching group are doing a great job there, that we're demonstrating there's a lot of players who are in form that could be playing senior level, and a lot of people have views on who possibly should or could be, but I think everyone in our club internally can see that when players are playing their part and doing what's been asked of them, they want to feel rewarded and supported at selection at senior level, and I think by and large we've been able to do that. So wrapped with our reserves performances as well. There's lots of improvement in both groups. There's players to come back, Sanders, Saunders, Sermon, Tahini, all come back pretty soon. We've got Kennelly hopefully back first up after the bye, Panos and Stockdale as well. So some players there that various stages after the bye and as the year goes on that can return as well, and they'll be putting more pressure on for selection.
Yeah, and Liam Robertson has been outstanding in the reserves, kicked I think 15 goals this year.
Yeah, I'm happy with Robert's game. I think the last 2 weeks in particular, he's played at a level that would be worthy of senior selection, and credit to him, he's aware of that as well, of what needed to be done to be more SANFL eligible. But Tristan Bond has also presented a block of form that's eligible. I've been really pleased with how he's been playing. I'm really pleased with young Lockie Bates, who's come from Langhorne Creek and real live wide down forward for us. Been pleased with him. Alec Wright's playing really strong footy on the wing, as Don White's also been another good performer. Ben Simpson's gone back to the reserves over the last 2 weeks and played really strong footy. And wrap with the back line, and Josh Gillard showing some real signs of being a senior player. Max Hodges has come back from long-term knee injury and he's starting to show after 3 or 4 games in of what he's capable of doing. So we've got some people who are really growing their games, and I missed a few there, but Robbo, you mentioned at the top, he's been a really strong performer, going to his 3rd, 4th year with us now, and he's ready to play, but unfortunately the spot's not there.
Yeah. Very big fortnight to come after the bye. Central's followed by Woodville Twig. Great challenges ahead.
Yeah, that's the beauty where this comp, after 6 weeks, you get a bit of a form line of where people rank, but not everyone's played each other. And yeah, to go and play Centrals out there with how they've been going this year presents an excellent opportunity to see how we're really going after the break. And also, Eagles have been one of the form teams so far and very dangerous commodity. So yeah, I think living in the now and being able to just down tools for our players who are getting the week off is important, and reset to go into the Centrals. It does stack up, but not looking too far ahead helps, and just keeping your eye on the ball and making sure we know where we're at, what we're doing, where the opportunities to improve are. It's the most important part.
Yeah, and finally, looking forward to the state game this week, heading to Perth.
Yeah, I am. It's a great opportunity for people to be involved in the game. 2 games for the year, and yeah, it looks like we'll have 5 players involved in the game. Unfortunately, Harry Boyd won't play. He's got some pretty demanding uni schedule at the moment, and the travel just doesn't line up, so he's not going to be part of it this year, and a couple of other guys won't play, but 5 of our guys will. And yeah, it's a great opportunity, and people are jumping out of their skin to want to be part of the program and be able to play at Optus Stadium before West Coast Melbourne. There's a lot of parts to it, but yeah, it's good recognition of the amount of our players get an opportunity to play.
Perfect. Thanks, Vic.
Thanks, Josh.